Make sure to hit the subscribe button if you enjoy the content on the channel, and make sure to check me out on Twitch. All right, let's begin. Hey guys, and welcome to the party. Today we are doing some gameplay with a 3000 PI Captain Marvel non-duped in the Maestro chapter. We just completed the 80% physical resistance hold, and we're just going to be seeing really how quickly we can dispatch each of these champions. One thing to be said about the Captain Marvel synergy that I am using today is that we have Nick Fury in our group, which is going to slow down the binary ignition expiration. Now, every time we block or perfect block, we're going to be building up those binary ignition charge. Now, while over 10 energy charges, dashing back and holding block for 1 second or being knocked down is going to purify all debuffs and push Captain Marvel into that binary ignition. Captain Marvel will also enter binary ignition automatically if you get to 25 energy charges. It's also worth noting that energy damage is also going to serve Captain Marvel pretty well by generating additional persistent energy charges, and also at the start of a match, Captain Marvel will gain 2% of max energy for each energy charge that she has stored from the previous fight. So it's really beneficial to use binary ignition kind of strategically. So if you're not going to take out the enemy right off the bat, at least make sure that you're going to be charging up for the next match or using it early on so you can regain those charges later, but then not accidentally maybe using it up at an incorrect moment. Another thing worth noting on this is that Captain Marvel is going to gain a permanent Fury buff, increasing her attack for every 5 stacks of energy charge. All Fury buffs, though, are going to be removed when the energy charges fall to 0. One of the other kind of interesting things about this champion, though, is the amount of armor breaks that this champion can generate. And by that, I don't mean a number that can stack on top of each other. I'm actually meaning that there are a number of ways that Captain Marvel is going to be generating those armor break debuffs for the enemy. If you notice, we have 4 right now. Just by punching into the guard, we'll have about a 15% chance to inflict an armor break that will reduce the armor rating for about 7 seconds. Also, intercepting an opponent's dash is going to 100% chance to inflict that same armor break for 7 seconds as well. The last thing that we kind of forgot about with binary ignition is that if you land a heavy attack during binary ignition, you can actually extend the charge of it as well for, I believe, 3 seconds. Or, excuse me, it'll generate 3 energy charges. That's my bad. So just everything together, when entering that binary ignition, you're going to be dealing exponentially more energy damage. So make sure that the enemy that you are facing is not going to be maybe generating energy in reverse. So if I was to say one matchup that might be a little awkward potentially, it would actually be kind of an interesting one, would be Havoc versus Captain Marvel. That would be quite the interesting one. But you notice these fights just go down one after another. She does not really need her signature ability as far as like what we're seeing right now. So that's really good. Kind of right out of the box, if you get Captain Marvel, she's kind of just good to go. One thing I would say is that any champion that can make me look like half a decent fighter in any way, shape, or form is a pretty good champion in my book. And this actually ended up being one of a few champions that I ended up getting as a 5-star before a 4-star. All right, continuing on with Captain Marvel's kind of breakdown on this. Okay, so when you are using the special one in your normal form, you're going to be generating 3 energy charges, and the energy beams in that attack do deal true damage. So that should negate any kind of armor effects or anything that would modify the stats of the opponent. In addition, if you are doing the special one while you are in binary ignition, the beam attacks are also going to be unblockable as well. But the attack will expend 2 energy charges instead of gaining 3. So it's kind of a trade-off in that way. I would say though that if you are going to be using Captain Marvel, it's not desperately needed to use Nick Fury, but it's definitely going to be a strong desire to pair these 2 champions up. But Nick Fury is just a synergy magnet. If you look through his list of different abilities he can give your team, such as auto dodge with Quake, purifying debuffs with Deadpool, he's just an invaluable champion to have anyways. So this is kind of just cherry on the top, really. And this is where I got actually a little bit cocky, because we've been through a couple fights as well, so I believe this is where it is. Yeah. I didn't realize what champion I was actually facing off against, so that symbioid kind of surprised me with it pulling a Magneto out. Alright guys, now time for the main event. How quickly, or does Captain Marvel even stand a chance against this almost 13k boss? You notice here, like, those armor breaks are just insane. We're at 8, 9, 10, and it's almost just kind of a normal slugfest on that. What I'm trying to do now is activate that special too, which he promptly does. Thank you so much for that, Maestro. And you see that just withering away in that really, really long stun. That's just beautiful. That's where we want to keep him, is at that special too. And we're wrapping that up really nicely. Alright guys, that is going to wrap this one up. If you like that Scrub Lord gameplay, hit that like button, subscribe, and check us out on Twitch. And you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. See you next time. Peace.